Welcome everyone. This is Chala, Dincoy, CEO and founder of The Repositioning Expert. We are here with Elizabeth Bachman for another episode of Polish My Pitch. Welcome.
Thank you, Chala. I'm delighted to be here.
Thanks for being here. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes so that we can polish your pitch. So if I was a prospect that you were meeting at a Zoom meeting or a networking meeting, how would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
You know how there's so many high-level women in tech who have a seat at the table, but still they aren't being listened to. And, often they're problem solvers. So their department works just fine, thank you. But that means that they're taken for granted. And so they see the promotions and the recognition going to other people. Well, what I do is help them use presentation skills to make themselves heard and valued within the company, and also to speak outside the company to raise their visibility so that they become someone to follow, someone to promote, or someone to hire.
Very nice. All right. Now, do I have your permission to polish?
Absolutely.
So I'm happy that you've taken everything that we've always talked about and that you've heard from me to heart, and it's looking pretty good, but I still have a few tweaks, if I may.
Great.
So the first thing I'm going to say is it's a little too long because remember, I wrote a book about this, is that, it takes 7 seconds to make anyone like you, 7 seconds or less. So let's shorten it and let's punch it up. So, and the way to do that is to put a stat around the number of women who are not being promoted because of their lack of influence.
Okay. I was playing around with 8 out of 10 women I speak with tell me that although they may be high level and they may have a seat at the table, they still aren't being listened to.
Well, but even better, I want you to say what it's resulting in, that they're not being listened to, but what they really care about is the promotion, right? And what it's resulting in is the promotion, is no promotion.
Right. So they have a seat at the table, but they're taken for granted and they see the promotions going to younger, flashier people. Okay.
So is it by virtue of just being a woman that it's going to somebody else, or is it by virtue of it's going to other women and they have bad presentation skills?
Usually they are in the 10% of the women who are at vice president or C level. Mm-hmm. So they're the only woman, or they're one of maybe 3 women. Mm-hmm. So it's not so much gender-based as being so good at your job that you're taken for granted. You're not noticed. And not being noticed is because they're female, usually.
But your
promotions usually go to the men, but I don't have statistics around that.
Right. I'm trying to put my finger on the actual problem, though. Is it that 8 out of 10 women leaders in high tech never get promoted? Or is it that 8 out of 10, any leader who has bad presentation skills never gets promoted? What's the problem?
Well, what I'm using presentation skills as a way in. So, but it's using presentation skills to be heard within a meeting, and using presentation skills outside a meeting to build your visibility. I might say something about it being invisible.
No, I understand, but what is the problem? If it's not gender.
The problem is, the problem is, that's a good point. The problem is because they are women, they aren't being listened to. They aren't being paid attention to. The men say, yeah, and then go on with whatever they want to do. Okay. And so they're not considered strategic thinkers.
Okay. So, but then we have to talk about the gender if it's gender-based. Because they're women, you're saying because they're women, they're not listened to. So you need to say that because 8 out of 10 women, tech leaders never get promoted because of their inability to influence and be heard, right? And what I teach is influence through presentation skills.
Okay.
To get promoted twice as fast as what they normally would on their own, or 3 times as fast, or whatever.
Okay. It's a glass ceiling thing. So I could say the glass ceiling says 8 out of 10 high-level women. I mean, there are women who get promoted, but the ones that I talk to are the ones who are stuck. They get to a certain level, and then you get to a certain level through skills, but really what you need to get promoted is the politics. I haven't spoken about that, but that is also a fundamental problem. Yeah. I don't think that's a problem they know, though. That's not a problem they'll recognize.
Yeah, exactly. So don't go there, but go to the fact that they know they haven't been promoted and they're good at their job. They know who you're talking to because you've selected, like, through, you know, me pushing you, you've actually come out with the fact that it's, you know, women in tech and high tech, which is great. And then the problem is they're not getting promoted because of their gender. And what you're doing is helping them present themselves better so that they can have more influence, so that they can get to the C-suite faster. Okay?
Right.
So don't go down any other rabbit holes of all the other things that you do. So this is perfect. I'm
really good at going down rabbit holes. So this is great. I thank you so much, because going down rabbit holes is one of my specialties.
That's what I mean. Like, shorten it. Remember, you're losing them. You're losing them when it's so there you are. You've been polished.
Thank you, Chala.
Thanks for being here.